Hello and welcome back to the Samplecast. We've been off for a few weeks, but this is show 11. What I've decided is to probably split the shows into groups of 10, so you'll get 10 shows and then maybe a few weeks off, just so I can go and sun myself. Well, not really. I've actually been working hard on a few different products, but you'll see the fruits of those in the next few weeks, hopefully. Thanks to everybody that's been in touch on Twitter and Facebook, via the Samplecast website, leaving comments on YouTube, all of that social media good stuff. It's really helped me get some good ideas for where the show is going to go, and I love to hear your comments and your complaints, even if they are about things that I've already done and I can't change. It doesn't matter, I really want to hear them. So thank you so much for the community there. Obviously, because we've been off for a few weeks, there's quite a lot to pack in, so I'm going to get on with the show. I just want to make sure that you're aware of the Samplecast podcast. I do put together a extended version of the show every single week, and it's available on iTunes, RSS feed, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn, basically any podcast platform that you can possibly think of. So if you go to your favourite podcaster and check that out, that would really be appreciated. You'll get to hear some extra sections of the show and a lot more composer demos and demos from sample library producers as well. So let's get on with the show. This week's roundup is a big one because we've been off air for a few weeks, so get ready for 6 or 7 products here. The first one is a really fun one. It's Black Octopus Sound's Funk Master Tools by Basement Freaks. It's $49.99 and you've got here 1 GB of funk loops, including bass and rhythm guitars, synths, blues, riffs, harmonicas and drums as well. There was some classic gear involved in recording this pack, including Fender Stratocaster, Gibson guitars, lots of other classic guitars, and plenty of other classic hardware, including compressors and reverbs. Definitely check it out if you want some inspirational funk hits, something for hip hop, something for dance music. It's a really useful pack. This next library from Wavelet Theory is reduced at the moment, but it's normally £30. It's called Atmosphere and available from Kontakt Hub, and here you've got 116 patches with 1.4 GB of content. It's an extensive toolkit for film and game composers and musicians who need deep atmospheres for their projects. The library contains a really delicately recorded, ready to work with instruments and designed pads. You can create soundscapes, there's drones in there, synths, rhythmic elements and textures. There's a lot of these kind of libraries out and about at the moment, but this one is definitely worth checking out on the Kontakt Hub website. Our next library is by Composers Tools and it's called Thong. Try and get your tongue around that. The intro price is $69 and it runs on the full version of Kontakt. Now I helped to make the walkthrough video for this and saw a little bit of the library before it was published, so thank you so much to Composers Tools. At first glance it is a simple kind of arpeggio instrument using very short little sounds, but if you delve a little bit deeper and you find the FX automation controls and the routing, you'll find that these really bring out the rhythms to their full potential. Add a bit of delay and reverb and you've got some fantastically chugging sort of little ticky-tacky rhythms, that sort of thing, that are perfect for adding interesting polyrhythms and percussive ticks to underscoring. Check it out. Time and Space have got a new pack by 0G. It's called Ethera and it runs in at £70. 2.5 GB here of cinematic vocal effects and instruments for the full version of Kontakt. The vocalist is Clara Soris. She actually does the whole pack, all of the pads, all of the legato transitions, all of the phrases as well. So there's a good sort of continuation through the sounds on this pack. The legato sounds look really interesting. You've got oohs and ahs with scripted legato between the different notes, and you can use vibrato with the mod wheel. So if you're looking to recreate that kind of ethereal gladiator Hans Zimmer style score, then this would be perfect to check out. Next up, it's Output Audio's very first plugin. It runs in Windows and Mac and it's called Movement. It's $149 and it's basically an FX engine for adding movement, drive and gating to any sound. Now, I haven't tried this myself, but according to the information, you've got 300 different presets here with 152 different adjustable parameters. And to my ears, it sounds quite like the Camel Space plugin, if anybody remembers that. It's actually a plugin that I've still got and I use quite a lot. But unfortunately you can't get hold of Camel Space anymore, so maybe this is the next best thing. As I say, I haven't tried it, but if you want to give it a go, there's a 14-day money-back guarantee on the Output Audio website, so you've got nothing to lose really. Lastly, an interesting plugin from iZotope. It's called Vocal Synth, and it's a voice manipulation plugin for vocodering, harmonisation, talk box effects and robot voices, that sort of thing. So you can expect to create kind of Daft Punk style vocals, or if anybody remembers that Imogen Heap track Hide and Seek, which was just a cappella using a kind of polyvox effect, then you'll be able to reproduce that with this particular piece of software. You can use auto harmonisation, or you can pump MIDI through there to adjust the pitch, which includes pitch correction. There's also speaker modelling in there and lots of other effects as well. Sounds like a really interesting plugin. I'd have a look on the iZotope website for some demos. Just a small free VST section of the show this week, because I want to highlight something that some people know about but many people don't. It's the Sample Radar samples on the Music Radar website. Let me give you a little bit of history here. I've actually been writing for Computer Music magazine in the UK for some years now, and I do also occasionally contribute to their sister site, which is called Music Radar. There's a fantastic wealth of content on there, but if you dig into the Music Radar site, you'll find a kind of sub-site called Sample Radar, and that's an invaluable resource for over 50,000 samples. The samples here have been culled from the Computer Music cover DVDs from over the years, and the quality varies, to be honest, but there's so much on there that you're bound to find something that's useful to you. The best thing to do is go to the main Sample Radar site, and then you can actually search via genre. There's a huge list on there of the samples as well that are available, and they're all absolutely free to download. Most of the packs run in at about 500 megabytes, but again, that varies. So you've got nothing to lose. Give those a test out and you'll probably find something you'll like. Welcome to this week's big review, and this week we've got a pretty inexpensive collection of sounds from Sampletraxx. The package is called Bleed and it runs in at €32. You'll need the full version of Kontakt for this to run the photosynthesis patches, which I'll go through in a sec. But in actual fact, there's a whole bunch of one-shot WAV samples as well. The library is 1.5 GB and it's a sci-fi sound pack with 9 Kontakt instruments which use the photosynthesis engine, as I mentioned before. This is a free engine that you can pick up online, and you can use it as an open source engine yourself. So the content here is all kind of big dramatic sci-fi hybrid scoring effects. You've got bass impacts, hits, stingers, reversers, risers, kind of stutter effects as well. There's a few synths in there. You've got whooshes and transitions and some glitch effects. Basically the sort of thing you'd hear in a Transformers movie or something like that. I recognised a lot of the sounds, but there's a few that were quite unusual as well. I'll come on to those in a sec. You've got weighty basses. They're really heavy. If you've got a sub bass in your studio system, you'll really feel those. The stingers are great, and the reversers as well. Now the stingers and reversers, I really enjoyed those. The stereo width is absolutely huge. I'd not heard some of these sounds before. Obviously I'd heard variations of them, but these are unique. If you do a lot of sound design or trailer scoring, you'll probably use up all of the 300 odd sounds pretty quickly, but the addition of the Kontakt instruments using that photosynthesis engine expands the possibilities enormously, because there's lots of onboard effects on that engine. So in conclusion, this is a really well priced cinematic effects library for hybrid and electronic scoring. There's some stellar sounds in there, and they're made all the more useful by the addition of the Kontakt engine. So this is Bargain VST, the section of the show where I reveal all the latest bargains of the week and beyond. First up, we've got a fab deal from Plugin Boutique. It's iZotope Break BreakTweaker. Now this particular piece of software has won several awards from lots of publications including Computer Music Magazine and Music Tech. Personally, I can recommend it. I've used it myself for a couple of years, and it's running in at $49, which is a great discount over the normal retail price of $249. So at its heart, it's a drum machine, but it's a little bit special. It comes from glitch and electro dance pioneer BT. Anyone who knows their dance music will know of BT's work. He's actually currently working on a new library with Spitfire Audio, but this is one of his previous collaborations with iZotope. It runs as a plugin on both Windows and Mac systems, and it enables you to create complex beats with micro editing of each beat slice. So you can introduce glitch, filters and reverse settings to those slices. There's loads of different parameters to play with. There's also 80 presets, which are great jumping off points for your own beats. The next deal is via VST Buzz, and it's Melda Productions' MCreative bundle. This is basically everything that Melda Productions does, all wrapped up into one bundle. So you've got 27 advanced software effects here, including reverbs, delays, saturation, modulation, distortion, glitch and kind of time manipulation effects, morphing, harmonization and spectral processing as well. So there's a huge bunch of effects there in one bundle. I regularly use some of these effects myself, and I think pretty much they're universally great. Bought individually they would be €1,600, they normally retail as a bundle for about €400, but now via VST Buzz for the next couple of weeks you can get them for $199 and 99 cents. There's a bit of a crazy offer on from Twisted Tools at the moment. They make a lot of glitch effects, loops, reverse effects, that kind of thing. They also do some sample libraries and packs as well. Now at the moment they've got an offer where you can buy all of their products in one big bundle for $199. This is down from the retail price of $1,136, so that's a bit of an insane saving. You'll get everything that they do. As I say, it's not a lifetime offer. There's no upgrades or anything included there, but you can get the whole collection really cheaply. Lastly, I wanted to include Sonic Forest from Impact Soundworks. Now, it's not a deal as such, but it's only $20 and £5 of that goes to charity, the Fauna and Flora International. It runs in the full version of Kontakt and is 500 megabytes, and it's a granular texture and evolutions based instrument based on mallet sounds and bowed samples. So there's an onboard arpeggiator there, sequencer and an effects rack, and you can also replace the samples with your own. The sounds are lovely, evolving, plucked tones, some of which sound like great variations on that Korg M1 Universe preset, which everybody loves. The quality here is great, the usual high standard from Impact Soundworks. It's pretty cheap, and with that charity donation, you can feel good whilst you're making music too. Thank you so much for watching the Samplecast, it's really appreciated. For more information head to the website www.thesamplecast.com. You can catch me on Twitter, you can reach me on Facebook, just search for Ruben Cornell. I'm all over the internet unfortunately. So I will see you next week. Bye bye now.